Okay, so today we're going to look at parallelograms, the second day on it. Yesterday or previously we looked at the information about angles in a parallelogram. Again, just as a review, quadrilateral has four sides. Parallelogram, the opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, and the diagonals bisect each other. So today previously we looked at these two, so today we're going to look at 1, 2, and 5, information about those. And so if we look at our parallelogram, we know that the opposite sides are parallel, so this is parallel to this, and this is parallel to this. We also know that opposite sides are equal, so whatever this side is, this has to be the same. Likewise, these two sides have to be equal. Okay? And then we also know that the diagonals bisect each other. So that diagonal and this diagonal, obviously they're not the same length, but they do bisect each other so that this length is the same as this, and this length is the same as this. And so that's the information that we're going to look at and use today in figuring out some of the problems on the assignment today. And so find the measurement indicated in each parallelogram. So again, we look at it in terms of the sides. We know, what do we know about opposite sides? They are congruent, right? So question mark equals 11. Opposite sides are congruent, so question mark equals 19. Those are pretty straightforward. This one, it says, gives me information that TK is 12. So what that instantly tells me is because these bisect each other, that this is 12 over here as well. We want to know what TV is. So it's going to be just twice that, 12 plus 12. So TV is going to equal 24. WL is 15. WL is 15. Find LY. Well, we know this bisects that, so I know that LY has to equal 15, right? We look at this one, VN is 9.3. We want to know what VX is. Well, this is 9.3, so you multiply it by 2. VX then would be 18.6. All right. Do a little bit of algebra with this as well. Solve for x. Each figure is a parallelogram. They give me that DF is 40 and that WF is 3x minus 4. Well, if this is 3x minus 4, this is 3x minus 4. And you can think of it in terms of adding, or I can just say I'm going to double this to equal what the whole thing is. So if I did it with adding, I'd say 3x minus 4 plus 3x minus 4 has to equal the whole length, which is 40. 6x minus 8 equals 40. 6x equals 48, adding the 8 over, divide by 6, and I get that x equals 8. If we saw that I'm just doubling it, I'd go 2 times 3x minus 4 equals 40. 6x distribute, 6x minus 8 equals 40, and I end up with the same statement I had here. Okay. If we look at this problem, WT is 4x plus 6. 4x plus 6. TY is 5x plus 2. Now ask yourself, what do we know about these two segments, this one and this one? They're congruent, so we set them equal to each other. 5x plus 2 equals 4x plus 6. Solve it, I minus 4x. I get that x plus 2 equals 6. Minus 2, I get that x equals 4. Okay? And that's kind of how these work. Another type problem you have is down here. says find the measurement indicated in each parallelogram. So we want to find out what CD is, right? So I know that these two, because they're opposite sides, they're congruent. So I know that 2x minus 11 has to equal x. Minus x from both sides, and I get, 2x minus 1x is just x minus 11 equals 0. Add 11, so I get that x equals 11. Over here, opposite sides are congruent, so 4x minus 5 equals 3x. I'll minus the 3x over, and I get that x minus 5 equals 0. Add the 5, and I get x equals 5. Down here, we want to find out, but remember, we wanted to find out, I didn't solve the problem, did I? Got to answer the question. We want to find out what CD is. In that case, that is what that is. In this problem, we want to find what CB is. CB is this. We now know that x is 5. So CB is going to equal, put 5 back in for x. 4 times 5 is 20 minus 5. So CB is going to equal 15. Down here, UR is 1 plus x, or x plus 1. RW is 2x minus 11. And we want to find out what UR is. So again, these bisect each other, so these two things are equal. I can say uh, 2x minus 11 equals x plus 1. I'll minus the x, and I get x minus 11 equals 1. Add 11, I get that x equals 12. To find what UR is then, is UR is this, x plus 1. So UR then is going to be 12 plus 1, or UR is going to equal 13. That should be, those are examples of what's on your assignment today. Please let me know if you have any questions.